Hey guys and gals, Never here from Drake Wayne Gaming. It's something on Twitter, the Gaming Drag. Today I'm coming back at you with the Let's Play episode of Violet Memoir, Oscar's Path. So y'all, let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Alarm chain, you were up, and let's go. No, I wasn't meaning, sex. Oh my god, that's so funny. His swim trunks just turned into khakis. That's great. No, I wasn't meaning sex. I was meaning just sleeping. We've done that a few times, and I thought that might be a good place to start. I'm sorry, that's a silly idea. I shouldn't have suggested it. Nah, man, slow down. I think it's a pretty good idea. I'm a little jealous I didn't think of it myself. You think it's a good idea? I think it's better than anything I've come up with. Not that I'm surprised. You're a pretty smart guy. I don't think I'm... Nope, not letting you do that. That's my one rule. Huh? I'm down to try sleeping with you, but you gotta follow my single rule. And no selling yourself short. You're always doing it, man. I think you're one of the most amazing guys I've ever met. I've only known you a week, but you're always trying to sell yourself short. No more of that, okay? I'm just left in total shock. No one's ever talked to me about this. Not talked to me this way before. Sure, my parents always tell me they love me, but it's hard to believe anything they say. They're my parents. Of course they say nice things about me. Anyone's would. Well... Not necessarily. But here's Oscar with his massive grin and his complete lack of shirt or shame just telling me this straight up. It's certainly enough to make my chest tighten. Plus, it helps me with something else. And what's that? Those nightmares you've been having. If I can't stop them from happening out here, I might as well take them down from the inside. So you're sleeping next to me to try and fight off my bad dreams? Sounds pretty great, right? Like your own personal dreamy bodyguard. Literally. Yeah, that sounds nice. Well, should we turn it in? It's getting late, and tomorrow's Monday. I'd bet a month's worth of pool time that we both have classes. Wait, what time is it? You really out of it, huh? It's nearly 11. It is? I pull out my phone, ignoring the numerous messages from Lily that's flooding my screen, and focus on the time. He's right. There's only 20 minutes until 11. Oscar went to take a shower a little while after 9. How did we get here already? How long was your shower? A while. I just needed some time to think. Don't worry, it was a cold shower. I don't want to get you in trouble if I used up all the hot water. It's not the problem. You had a cold shower? Aren't you freezing? We're in the middle of autumn. I mean, he's also an otter, so... They're pretty good in cold water. You know, fall is never that cold here. I'm fine, man, really. I'm always running hot. A little cold does me some good. I spend most of my time swimming, little dude. A little cold ain't gonna hurt me. Now, are you staying in those, or are you gonna get undressed? You don't mind if I sleep in my underwear? Wouldn't it be too close to, How about we try it first? There's no Papa Bear here to scold us, so don't stress. Right. Yeah, just let me get up. The moment I'm off the bed and pulling my clothes off, Oscar takes my place and starts to arrange himself in awkward positions. He's probably trying to find poses that will have us touching the least. I don't know how successful that's going to be. The beds here are pretty small and Oscar's gigantic. This bed would barely fit him as it is. Let's just hope this works. It took a bit of messing around before we were both able to get into the bed together, but we were finally able to get in. That doesn't mean there isn't any issues. Just as I thought, the bed is much too small for Oscar to fit in, and despite our best efforts to keep our contact to a minimum, just our hands preferably, it just wasn't happening. My back is still pressed up against his stomach, and I can feel his chest on the back of my neck, even if I tilt my head forward. I'm sorry, I'll just take the guest bed, don't worry about it. I try to pull myself out of the bed, but Oscar's large paw presses against my chest, keeping me in place, though he quickly pulls it away. Nah, it's fine, we can stay like this. It's, not too bad. Despite that, I can still feel the tension in his body and the deep breaths he's taking. It's nowhere near as bad as I thought it could have been, especially considering last night, but it's still there. Oscar? Hey, it's fine, trust me. I've handled doing 50 laps in a pool before. I can handle this. The laugh he lets out is genuine, and it's so refreshing to hear. I hadn't realized just how much less he'd been laughing since last night. It's a wonderful sound, and one that immediately puts a smile on my face, making me feel a whole lot more relaxed about this whole setup. Though that in turn brings all the fatigue I hadn't realized I'd been building all day. It was an emotionally taxing day, to be sure. If you're sure, but if you feel uncomfortable, just wake me up and we'll sort it out. I told you, I'm okay with taking it as slow as you need. Hey, Wallace? Yeah? You're really amazing, you know that? You've been telling me that an awful lot lately. Despite all this crap going on, the main thing you're worried about is if I'm okay with sleeping in the same bed as you. Of course, I would be. I really care about you. Sorry, I know, we're not boyfriends. I didn't mean to push it. Nah, man, it's good. I'm not ready for something that intense, but this is nice. I can get used to this. I can feel my face heating up, and I wish I could see Oscar's face, but as I look up, I can only see darkness. The only blips of light are the small dots on the few electronics scattered throughout the room. But something tells me that he's just as flustered as I am. This isn't making you uncomfortable? It's not too bad now. Everything was racing at first, but now it ain't too bad. As long as I don't think about it too much, I think I'll be fine. Despite him saying that, he's still avoiding any further contact than what's necessary. His arms are being kept away from me as much as possible, and the only contact between us is my back and his front. But even so, the small connection and the warmth it brings is more than enough for me, and I can already feel myself beginning to fade away. Oscar keeps muttering something, but it's getting harder to make out, and all I can think about is just as much as I've already come to miss all his little touches. Moments like this that make my heart race make everything worth it in the end. And I fall asleep without even a single thought towards everything we learned today in the mysterious diary next to me, all my thoughts consumed by this wonderful otter behind me. My steps are unsteady as I walk down the opulent hallway, my weight shifting from side to side. I'm frequently forced to lean on the wall next to me for support. I don't remember why it's so hard to keep my balance. Are we having an earthquake? This must be the most intense earthquake of my life. I want to run for cover, but all the doors around me look to be locked and the nearest table is at the end of the hall. Opting to brace myself against the wall instead of taking my chances, I close my eyes, trying to wait out the tremors. Earthquakes used to scare me when I was younger. My fears didn't last long. It was just a stupid phobia from a child who had no idea why everything was shaking. The first time it happened, Mom and Dad were out on a business trip. I had been crying in my bed under my blankets for nearly 5 minutes before Marcus found me. Looking back, it was clear that he'd just woken up from a nap, but at the time I was so scared I was alone. I must have been barely 6 or 7 at the time. He climbed into the bed with me and held me tight until it passed, doing everything he could to calm me down. He tried to leave after it finished, but I clung to him like glue. I didn't want him to leave. The state of pure terror I was in must have been obvious because he didn't protest. He slept in the same bed as me for 3 days until I finally stopped just because I was scared of the shakes. By the time I was 10, I was over that fear, but I can still remember that day. It was a memory clearer than most others. Almost all memories of my brother aren't things I want to remember, and I suppose this isn't one either. But despite all the fear and crying, I mainly remember how safe I felt. It's a strange memory. Another tremor forces me to brace myself one final time before they seem to come to a stop. It seems to be over, but that doesn't stop the hallway I'm in from slowly rocking back and forth. It's barely noticeable, but it's enough to make me feel slightly nauseous. I just ignore as I continue on my way. Despite that fact, I was in an empty hallway just moments ago. It feels like only seconds before I find a stairwell. As I follow them down, I can feel the temperature steadily dropping. Maybe I should have taken a hoodie with me Wait, where was I before this? I'm struggling to remember. Suddenly, everything starts to feel strange and eerily familiar. I've been here before, haven't I? But when? It's a strange sensation. This place is familiar, but only in feeling, not in physicality. I don't think I've actually been here before, but As I take another step, my foot plunges into water and a cold shiver shoots through me, knocking me out of my thoughts. Looking ahead, I can see the entire next floor is almost entirely flooded with water. There's barely enough room at the top for someone to swim across. Everything starts to click into place, and I can feel the panic in me rising. I've been here before, but why can't I remember any of the details? But that's when the horror continues as my body continues to walk into the water. I try to resist, but it feels like I'm just a passenger watching this happen. The water reaches my chest, and I shut my eyes as I wait to be submerged, but the water stops right before my neck. Taking a chance, I open them and begin to see myself swimming across the top, barely managing to avoid the debris that's floated up to this cramped space. Whatever's pushing me forward doesn't stop, and I can only watch as we travel deeper until I can no longer see the stairs anymore. My focus has changed as I hear the sound of splashing in front of me. For a moment, I thought it might have been a fish, but it's much too loud for that. But I'm able to get a good look at it. Whatever it was dies beneath the surface. Every part of myself is screaming for me to run away, to hide or escape, and my body has other plans. Following whatever I heard, I dive beneath the surface and try to look around. Everything is a blur as I'm only shown an endless blue. That's until I see it. Someone floating there in the water. My eyes flash open as I gasp for breath, finally taking in what feels like my first bit of air for ages. Pain spikes through my head and my sore throat forces me to cough. I'm able to get my bearings quickly, but I'm unable to stop my heart from racing. I knew it was a dream deep down, but that doesn't change how real it felt. I can still feel myself shivering from the cold. But that makes me notice something else that feels off. I'm all alone, without Oscar's warmth and comfort. Looking around the room, there doesn't look to be anything strange or out of the ordinary, because of course there wouldn't be. This is reality, not a dream. But I catch two things on the other bedside table: Oscar's phone and the diary. He must still be around somewhere, probably taking a shower. I should get up and get ready myself. I need to deal with this pounding headache. By the time he gets back, I'm fully dressed and currently chugging a glass of water. He looks confused but doesn't comment as he comes to side down next to me. Everything okay, little guy? You're looking a little paler than usual, not just because of your fur. Yeah, I'm good. I just had another nightmare. Again? You didn't sneak off to read more of the diary, did you? No, not recently anyway. The last time I did was with Lucas, but that was just to check something. I didn't read anymore, just check something. Sounds like it isn't the diary, then. You must just be a little stressed. Maybe we should do that swim today. Might take your mind off things. I think we already did that. Yeah, but it's a good way to take your mind off of things. Trust me, I know. Plus, I could use a visit there. I bet you've already visited enough. You'd be surprised. He flashes me that gigantic smile, but it only brings my attention to the distance between us. Usually when he gets like this, he's always shown physical affection during it. I guess last night might not have helped as much as I hoped. Are you doing okay with, I'm doing okay. Oscar. I mean it. I'm good. I'd been able to sleep, but when I woke up, I could feel you against me, and that was nice. For a while. For a while? After a bit, it started to freak me out a little again. Not too much, but enough that I knew I had to get out, so I got up and took a shower. Well, that's progress at least, right? Yeah, I could really use a swim, though. We'll have to go. Please? I didn't know that Oscar was capable of puppy dog eyes, but he looks absolutely ridiculous trying them, but it's enough to make me unable to turn him down. Okay, how about after media? We should all be together then. Maybe we can invite the others. Hell yeah, it sounds like a plan. When is your first class, anyway? Oh, right, I should check the time. A quick look at my phone as my heart sinks to the floor. Oh shit, my class is about to start. I'm gonna have to go now. Sounds like my chest was a pretty good pillow, then. You have no idea. You're so warm. So I've heard. I quickly grab my things, and I'm about to head out when Oscar stops me without a word. Both of us are standing in the middle of the room, and I'm left waiting for him. All the smiles and teasing comments are gone. He just looks nervous and uncertain. He tries reaching out a hand towards my face, but starts to hesitate the closer he gets. He's barely an inch away before he snatches his arm back with a pitiful expression, one that makes my chest hurt more than any dream ever could. Hey, it's okay. I consider reaching my own hand out before settling on something a little less orthodox as the tip of my tail entwines with his own. It's only a little bit of contact, but maybe that's what he needs. He looks startled by the action despite having done it with me numerous times. Eventually his tail squeezes back and I can see that smile returning. Right, baby steps. I've never really been one for patience or restraint, so how about this? I have something in mind for you tonight, if you're okay with that. What is it? It's a surprise, man. Something that might help me feel a bit more comfortable. Only if you're okay with it. But I don't get to know what it is? It ruined the surprise, you know? Okay, I'll take it, but I really do have to go. Yeah, I have my own classes too. Real boring stuff, but I think I can make it through, especially knowing I have a cute weasel waiting for me. So, see you at media? You bet. Alright, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and pause it right there. Thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell. Anyway, I love you all, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!